April 15, 2019, started like any other day in Paris. Tourists from around the globe gathered to admire the beauty of one of the world's most famous landmarks, the Notre Dame Cathedral. Little did anyone know that by the evening, the centuries-old cathedral would become the site of a catastrophe that shook not only France but the entire world. The iconic structure, standing tall since the 12th century, was about to go up in flames, and the world would watch helplessly as history seemed to burn away. The fire began around 6:30 p.m. local time, right in the heart of Paris. As people strolled along the Seine River, they started noticing smoke rising from the roof of Notre Dame. At first, it was hard to believe. Could one of the most beloved monuments in the world really be on fire? But as the flames grew, so did the horror. The blaze had started in the attic of the cathedral, which was undergoing restoration work. Despite the best efforts to make the restoration safe, it appears that some of the work may have accidentally sparked the fire. As soon as it started, the fire spread quickly through the cathedral's wooden frame, known as the forest, due to the dense collection of ancient timbers that supported the roof. Within minutes, the fire began consuming the roof, sending plumes of smoke into the sky that could be seen from miles away. Flames danced across the centuries-old structure, and people across Paris stood frozen in disbelief. News of the fire spread quickly, and soon millions around the world were glued to their screens, watching live footage of the disaster unfolding. For many, it was more than just a fire. Notre Dame is not just a building. It's a symbol of Paris, of France, and of human history. The cathedral has stood through wars, revolutions, and time itself. Watching it burn felt like watching a part of human heritage slip away. As the fire raged, the cathedral's iconic spire, built in the 19th century, caught fire. Firefighters struggled to control the flames, but the spire couldn't be saved. At 7:50 p.m., the spire collapsed in a shocking moment that left the crowd gasping and sent a wave of despair across the globe. The collapse was broadcast live, and for many, it felt like the heart of Notre Dame had been ripped out. Even as the flames devoured Notre Dame, the world began to respond. French President Emmanuel Macron rushed to the scene, vowing that the cathedral would be rebuilt. Notre Dame is our history, our literature, our imagination. It is the epicenter of our lives, he said in an emotional speech. His words resonated with people everywhere, as the disaster was not just a French tragedy but a global one. The response from people around the world was immediate. Within days, billions of dollars were pledged by wealthy individuals, corporations, and governments to help restore the cathedral. The fire had destroyed much of the roof, but the main structure, including the famous bell towers and the facade, was still standing. As the fire blazed, nearly 500 firefighters worked tirelessly to prevent the entire cathedral from collapsing. They faced enormous challenges. Notre Dame was an ancient building with massive wooden beams that fueled the fire, and they had to be careful to avoid causing even more damage. One of the major concerns was saving the treasures inside the cathedral. Priceless relics, such as the crown of thorns believed to have been worn by Jesus, were stored inside. In a dramatic rescue, firefighters formed a human chain to save the sacred artifacts, pulling them out as the fire threatened to destroy everything. Their bravery and quick thinking saved many of the cathedral's most important treasures. After several tense hours, the fire was finally brought under control in the early hours of April 16th. Although much of the roof had been destroyed and the spire had collapsed, the main stone structure remained intact. Notre Dame had survived, but it had been forever scarred. In the days following the fire, experts began assessing the damage. It became clear that Notre Dame would need extensive repairs, and it would be years before it could reopen to the public. Despite the destruction, the world remained hopeful. The outpouring of support from across the globe signaled that people were committed to restoring this masterpiece of human achievement. Reconstruction plans were quickly put into place. President Macron set an ambitious goal of rebuilding Notre Dame within 5 years, in time for the 2024 Paris Olympics. While many experts believe the restoration could take longer, the determination to bring Notre Dame back to life is undeniable.